All right. So now let's talk about some more money topics. Bitcoin.
Yep.
We haven't talked about Bitcoin in a while, but it's on the move. It's at 65,000 and it's been hovering around that for months now. For about 6 months, really.
Yeah.
Up and down, but around, it's never really hasn't been able to break out of that price pattern yet. So do you think Bitcoin is going to be on the move this month?
Nope. Love the question from the audience. Appreciate you. It's probably not going to move until after election. And if one candidate wins, it will move a lot faster, have a precipitous uptick. But I won't tell you which one. If you want to know which one, go to eninvest.com, join the Red Corner Stock Club. I'll say that. Gatekeeping, stonewalling. But no, and truth be told, there's no reason with BlackRock owning the majority of it and Michael Saylor, there's no reason for it to move to the upside. I think one of the big lessons that we have to be mindful of, put it in chat, asymmetric risk to reward. Why would I want to buy a 65 or 67 if the cap is 10,000 above that? You have to wait.
Yeah, and if anybody studies the chart, if you look at it past 90 days, when we talk about consolidation, that's what it looks like when it's trading inside of a range, and that's what it's doing.
That's all it's doing.
Yeah. And you know, there was a guy who talked about the World Liberty Financial, which is an interesting concept.
Yeah.
Who once called it a scam, but now has created a committee for it. So yeah, I'm with you. We know and we've seen since, I would say probably since 2017, how crypto moves when it has consolidation, when it has, I guess, these crypto winters. I don't think we're there. We talked about what happens after halving, and we saw the event, and we saw it go down to 20 and climb back up to 70.
Yeah.
So we're in a consolidation phase right now. We'll see what the catalyst is. Maybe it is somebody that gets elected, or maybe not. But it's always interesting.
And also, at the time when Bitcoin became mainstream, the hedge funds had found a way to steal Kathy's idea to make Tesla and Nvidia pop. Now, most of the funds have sold, those that are anti-BlackRock or competitors to BlackRock, they've wrote Nvidia for Bitcoin-like gains. So why have the drawdown of Bitcoin hypothetically, which I think is an amazing asset to hold long term? But if I can pull out 300-400% out of Nvidia over 3 or 4 years, why have a place there if I'm competing against BlackRock? You have to understand all the pieces on the board. So at the one time in history, Bitcoin was able to give you 100% return, and it was feasible on an institutional basis. Now you have maybe 3 or 4 players that they can divert those funds into. That's why Bitcoin has been flat. Same with XRP. XRP at one time could have moved up higher until Larry Fink decides to get his hand on XRP and shake the table. They're going to remain flat. Now, if I can take Nvidia as an American equity, and now Jensen is the new darling, and Blackwell now costs damn near 600 grand, great. You have to realize, and please write this in chat, understand who the competitors are in the equities. No stock is just competing against the indexes, and they're competing against the entire landscape. So,
for sure. All right. Well, we'll see. We'll keep an eye on crypto, but yeah, it hasn't really done too much over the last 6 months. Just kind of,
but still hold it for the long term. It's a great hedge against the American dollar. But you should have bought it at 20 when I told you to.
Draco. Everybody screaming Draco.
Oh my Lord.
Draco. Okay, so
come on. That's crazy. As we speaking.
Yeah, he just sent it to us.
That's crazy.
Shout out Gotti. Nvidia is a stock that famously, I think it was 2 months ago when we spoke about it on Market Mondays, and you said you called for it to hit lows in the low hundreds, high 90s. I think it bottomed out at 98.
Yeah, got that in the intraday 92.
And then now it's at hovering around 140.
Told you. Told you, boy.
Shout out to Big Soldier. So that was something that, if you watched Market Mondays and you actually implemented on the information, you probably made some money off of it for sure. But I was watching, different publications, and they're saying, like, even on Nvidia's options, it's reached levels that they've never seen before as far as how much money has been poured into Nvidia options. And now, they have some news as far as their DGX B200 featuring 8 Blackwell GPUs. So, let's talk about that moment in history, calling Nvidia's bottom, why it's important to implement on time, and also the outlook for Nvidia going forward. Because, like I said, there's so much money in options right now. It's a lot that's going on with Nvidia. So people are, they're thinking, okay, does it still have upside potential?
So I think first thing first, I appreciate everyone who listens to the show and who's in Red Panda. If I made you money, please put yes in chat. I will say definitively it's better to go with what I'm saying than to be adverse and not listen to it, for one. Even 3 years ago, the clip came up about Microsoft being the stock of the decade. That was before the OpenAI involvement. When you've been doing this as long as I have, and regardless of what people may think about the hot takes or some of the talks on Blackout, like, I'm great at this shit. If I'm doing the work for you and everyone keep asking, like, where's the hedge fund? And I keep saying, hey, Market Mondays is the hedge fund in advance. Just listen to the advice that is being given. I mean, it's amazing to be able to call this out, for you to take advantage of it. Now, the price where it is now, there is no asymmetric risk to the upside. So you have to wait for a moment for that company to then pull back at a price that is favorable to you and the institutions. If we're talking about Blackwell and what they have coming, the average price I think is $515,000 to $530,000 per unit. To all of you who say, I never heard one person ever say they charge too much or that they should lower their price. So when you look at price and power, which also helps their net margin, profit margin, and market share, and if the top 7 or top 15 companies are buying from them at scale to help, they are the infrastructure of this AI movement. They're going to be here at least for the next 4 or 5 years. I know AMD is making a chip, and that's his cousin, so he may give her a little insight, some throwaway shit that he doesn't care about to help them. But Carabas and Intel and everyone else that, like, this is like when LeBron was coming into the league, and then Darius Miles said to whoever, hey, I'm glad for drafting to bring us some help. No, you're about to be out of here. It is a shout to you. I want to smoke if I see you in Cleveland or wherever. But when there is a changing of the guard and a company is this powerful, and we had, conversations endlessly about debt ratio and debt to GDP, and is America losing its luster? They're one of the few companies that are shining bright to make America seem exceptional. So why go against that trend? And if you study this 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 hours a day, it'll come in handy. And that's true of all. Like, even if we go to dinner, when Rashad gets to looking down like this in the proper pose, I say, oh, he working some media magic. He done figured out a new reel format, carousel. I'm always working on this. This is the thing about anyone who's great at their craft. They're always working on their craft. I know y'all tired of me piling up on Adam. Don't let them GDs beat up on you. Call me Adam.
Please.
I'll call some people in Chicago for you. But when you work on your craft every day, 7 days a week, at some point you're going to get lucky by having a system in place. So if I made you money, I appreciate you. Put yes in chat. But I don't think people saw this early enough. And that's fine because I did. But if you missed out on the boat, why are you going to miss out again? You missed out on Bitcoin on 20,000, 28,000. Mike Novogratz stamped it. I told you about the companies that were going to fall. I told you Apple was going to have a slight decline. And who are you to say Apple isn't going to? I had an Apple II. Apple first phone at AT&T. Went to Indianapolis to go get it. First day. Like, trust me. This is my lived experience with these products and companies. Unlike most of these content creators, I'm not just talking about this and then getting flexy. So I love everyone.
Yeah, you know what? Sometimes the work is done for you, and people still want to make it complicated.
It's not complicated. All you got to do is put the food in your mouth and chew. I cooked it. I sauteed it.
So here's the crazy part. I think we had a dialogue. We were going back and forth. We had banter. I think you said 107. I said 112. If you got at either,
you won.
You won, right? But then we had further dialogue. I think a couple weeks after that, and we saw a slight pullback. And I said, and somebody ran up with me and said, "Yo, Troy, I remember y'all said that." I was like, "Yo, this number start with 9."
Yeah.
And we were like, "Yo, 97."
Yeah.
And then it got down to 97, and then still people didn't execute on that. Now it's up at 139. Got to hit 140. The reports of Blackwell. Think about this. When we were talking about Blackwell a month ago, it was, the delay. They're not going to be able to fulfill these orders.
Yeah.
And now Blackwell is sold out for 2025.
Great business move.
It is sold out for the entire next year.
Can't get one.
What is Blackwell?
So Blackwell is their new GPU. So right now, it's working on the current GPU, but they gave the forward guidance, told you Blackwell is going to be the next GPU that's actually going to be more efficient and have higher functioning, right? That one is sold out.
Yeah.
Last 2 weeks ago, Cisco announced that they're buying in the bulk over $7 billion worth of product. We already talked about Microsoft. We talked about Meta. They're already allocated
3.5 of that. I just not to cut you off, but they get to keep 3.5 from Cisco.
7 billion, right? We already talked about all of these things, and now it's sold out. And on top of it, they're saying, all right, well, if there's, and that's why I want to talk about the tariffs. Yeah. Yes, if China decides, hey, you know what? If there's going to be tariffs on our business, maybe we create our own product. Well, they said, okay, well, if we can't sell Blackwell to you, we'll make a product directly that we can sell to you.
We'll make Whitewell.
We're going to make a product that we can sell directly to you. We don't want to lose your business. We'll make one directly to you since we know it's an arms race to have these chips. We'll create that. Me and my brother spoke this weekend, and I said, yes, the political parties make a lot. It's a lot of banter. But what's Nvidia doing? That's going to be more important to the people that are listening. Are you invested? Are you invested in AI? Right? Because, yes, you have an opportunity to vote in about 8 weeks. And yes, it is important. But today, what are you executing on? Are you executing on that? You could bring up AMD. And I know we said,
it's not comparable.
I know we said second place is not a place you want to be in business. But there are family ties there.
Hey, that's first cousin.
There's family ties there. And so, yes, if my product costs $60,000, right? Well, I allow you to come into the space and say, all right, well, I know we're not that, but I can offer you something at this.
I'm sold up currently for 2025, but AMD has an amazing Bluewell chip that you can go.
An alternative option.
Listen to the advice. Because honestly, if y'all want to talk about that, I know some of y'all be on me about price. For some of these picks, I can charge 50 or 60 grand alone with no management fee for.
Right. And
go look at Ian Dunlap rolling out article. I was talking about this in 2017.
Yeah, this is yours. And we talked about using AI in tech, and we showed you how to use Claude. Shout out to Claude, has been rated the number one most proficient GPT. I gave the prompt out. Here's the prompt.
That was a crazy.
Here are all the analysts. Go look at the average analyst. You don't even have. It will tell you that it's not pulling. This is actually taking information. It's showing you.
And big data.
Morgan Stanley. Here's Morningstar. Here's JP. Look at the price target. Here's the average. Combined it. If you look at what Nvidia is at, right? This was in August when we did this. The price target for the end of the year was 140. We're here.
We're already here.
We're here.
Some of y'all keep asking, regardless of both candidates, who's going to win? Nvidia took the purple Lamborghini just to race in China. They gave you to play. We made a whole different sector for China to not conflict with the U.S. sales. I want to know what those numbers are.
Yeah.
What? So Nvidia to the moon. Microsoft is stock of the decade. Still holding the Apple. You're good. VO, VTI.
And they said their market share inside the space is going to grow in 25.
Well, all right. Hands down.